Back out comes Galvantula, and we get the Volt Switch farm down. The opponent sends back out Shadow Quag. They fire off the charge move on the CMP tie. Galvantula, of course, will be winning that. We force the opponent's final Protect Shield, and we're going to put it all on our own Quag. The opponent fires off Aqua Tail. We survive, and we're going to pivot, not allowing the opponent any free farm. The opponent looks to fire off some debuffed energy, an easy no shield for us. I'm going to throw 3 mud shots, fire off the Aqua Tail, not wanting to play to CMP. The opponent reads me like a book and catch onto Empoleon. People ask me, do you need Mud Bomb? Well, you're about to find out. Evidently, you do not. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Go Battle Day, or actually Go Battle Weekend. So let me tell you a quick story. I was 1-0 in the set, I had 4 battles remaining, I haven't played in a few days, and I thought, should I push for Legend? Let's try and use a pretty top meta team. So I powered up Shadow Galvantula. This thing's been meta for ages, hence I haven't used it. What you're currently seeing are my first 4 battles of the day. We led into Mantine, followed by Mantine, and guess what the 4th lead was? Yet more Mantine. So I thought, fuck this. We're just going to stick to what I know. I'm going to bust out my signature team. Galvantula Sableye Quag. I run this in Open Great League, had great success. A few weeks ago we had Jungle Cup. I run the same line of 3, I had great success. So guess what? We're going to run it in the REMIX Cup, and you already know we're going to go positive. Without any further ado, let's get into the battle. And in game 1, we see something that isn't Mantine. Beautiful. To be honest, Gligar would have been pretty terrible in this matchup as well, as almost all Quags do carry Aqua Tail. I farm up, throw the lunge, the opponent's at least looking to bait the Stone Edge, we force a Protect Shield and pivot into our trusty save switch of Sableye. Things not looking fantastic as the opponent sends out Pidgeot. The double resist to my quick move due to the normal typing. We force ourselves early shield advantage, and trainer, enjoy yourself, throw whatever you like. I offer the opponent the chance to throw the Brave Bird, but of course, Pidgeot user so horny for the debuff, the opponent fires off the Feather Dance, and that is going to allow me to get off some chip damage. You can see double debuff, 2 Foul Plays won't quite be lethal, so I commit to the Power Gem, and we get there. It looks like this is actually CMP. I've got no idea what this opponent's doing, but after getting absolutely destroyed in my first 4 battles a day, I'm not complaining. We've now got a 2-0 shield advantage, and Quag and Galv form a very formidable core. They cover each other's weaknesses near perfectly. The opponent fires off the Mud Bomb. I farm up, throw the Aqua Tail on the CMP tie, winning that as well, which is great information to know. I am going to invest a Protector here, as we don't know what's in the back. If they've got some kind of stinky binky or something annoying that Galv doesn't want to see, I suppose we need some health. We're easily going to be able to survive 1 further Mud Bomb. You can see we're in the red. I'm just now going to overfarm. The opponent pivots into Annihilate. We bank the energy and send out Galv. This is already GG's. I'm just going to shield up the Night Slash. We probably survive, however there's no point in risking it. We're just going to throw the Discharge. Discharge will almost knock out. The opponent isn't going to reach another move, and Quag is going to be forced to throw on us. The opponent does send back out Quag. They farm up, throw the Mud Bomb. And you know what time it is? We're going to go for that bad manners. We've got the Stone Edge locked and loaded, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Apologies to that opponent. I feel like I let out some frustration in that battle. In the next battle, we see a great lead, although we see a very problematic save switch. Hakamoto has a favourable matchup against all 3 of our Pokemon, so I'm going to fire off the lunge, lowering their attack, and then send out Sableye. A couple of days ago, I had the pleasure of shoutcasting Purple Koga's battles. After watching how he plays, I recognised that he does something really well that I don't do. He likes to chip and dip, maintain an alignment. So I'm actually going to go for that play for once. Rather than losing switch, I'm just going to debuff, send out Sableye, and keep that really positive alignment. We play the 1 shutout leave with the foul play. For Alligator likely doesn't shield, and Shadow Crime, this is going to do so much damage. Back out comes Gator. We've also left minimal farm on our Sableye. You can see the opponent is going to leave with a charge move, but they're going to find themselves very quickly in 1 Volt Switch range. I send out the Spider, the opponent pivots into Steelix, and we've got the perfect alignment. We're going to save switch into the Quagman. You can see their keep and switch was absolutely everything. So I think it's important to recognise that people can always improve, and something I'm going to try and do more often is perhaps try and keep alignment. Making that adjustment has put me into a near unlosable position. We've already forced the opponent's final Protect Shield, we've just got to reach 1 further Aqua Tail. Potential lose con would be allowing the opponent to farm me down because Galvantula doesn't have a move bank. So with that in mind, I farm up to the double Aqua Tail. For Alligator will be winning CMP, however they're probably going to try and Shadow Claw farm down. We've got the Aqua Tail bank, and despite that being resisted, that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. It looks like the opponent has rage quit the app, so we get to see their very happy Quagman grinning away. In the next battle, we see some Shadow Crime Galvantula. into Machamp. The opponent safe switches into Snorlax, and once again, we're going to go for the chip and dip. Lunge will land for some decent damage, and of course force that debuff effect. Galvantula is so annoying. You can see after one stage attack drop, despite Body Slam being one of the best moves in the game, Quag is easily going to be able to tank 2, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to anticipate the opponent not looking to 2-shield, and to be honest, I don't even need switch advantage. We're just going to YOLO the Stone Edge. Does the opponent respect the damage? Okay. I was not expecting that shield, but regardless, we're going to make the departing Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail will definitely put them into Volt Switch farm down range after committing one Protect Shield. Galvantula then has the option to debuff something or nuke Machamp. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent sends back out Machamp. We go straight for the Discharge. Shadow on Shadow Crime. This is almost going to one-shot. Discharge gets the opponent incredibly low. I snipe with Sableye. The opponent sends out Cresselia, and then they're going to concede the match. GG's. Heading into the next battle. We've got some Shadow on Shadow Crime. Electric into Electric. This is actually an IV dependent CMP tie. Thankfully, we're able to win, and that lunge does so much resisted damage. Holy! Even debuff, we will not tank a Wild Charge particularly well, but the opponent actually tries to bait me with the Mirror Shot, and we don't invest the protection. The opponent then sends out Gligar, and I send out the Quagman. This is where Aqua Tail is so nice, as 2 Aqua Tails will be enough to knock out, and we easily survive. Aerial Ace, or even if the opponent want a full sended dig, it doesn't matter, Quag, easily going to be able to tank that. I'm then going to overfarm, fire off the Aqua Tail, and see what the opponent wants to do. Aqua Tail forces the opponent's first protection. The opponent looks for the wing attack farm down, but Quagman, smiling away, refuses to die and reaches Aqua Tail number 2, forcing both Protect Shields. With a 2-0 shield advantage, this is a perfect opportunity to send out Sableye. We're going to shield once, commit to the Shadow Claw farm down, and leave with energy to chuck out whatever the opponent's got in the back. Unfortunately, we're never going to find out what that is, as the opponent is going to concede the match. In the next battle, holy, that's a yikes lead. If I ever did see one, we're going to utilise the Shadow Sableye safe switch. The opponent's only thrown 4 Dragon Tails. This can't be a crunch. It's either a Psychic Fang or Break and Swipe. The opponent fires off the very annoying Poison Fang debuff and then pivot into Gligar. I can't really moan about annoying debuffs, as I am using Galvantula, the most annoying of them all. I'm able to land the first foul play, then reach foul play number 2 on the CMP type, forcing a Protect Shield in the mid game. I'm in a really tricky spot where I'm not going to be able to take back switch, even if I start investing Protect Shields. And to be honest, Galvantula looking like pretty dead weight. The likelihood of Quag being able to sweep this team is probably highly unlikely, as they're already shown double weak to Quag, so whatever's in the back is probably going to be good against us. However, we're going to do our best. We tank the energy, then send out the Quagman. We're able to outpace to the Aqua Tail and keep almost full health and a 2-shield advantage. I imagine the opponent shows me their third. To my surprise, they send out Steelix. The opponent attempts to catch an Aqua Tail onto Cresselia. Aqua Tail is better DPE, although Stone Edge does do objectively more damage, so I'm going to YOLO that. To be honest, should I go straight Aqua Tail? I think an argument can be made. That is better DPE, although every time I was to throw a charge move, they'd sneak a Psycho Cut. So I think just going straight Stone Edge is still better, despite it not being better DPE. You can see I'm able to land both Stone Edges, and I'm going to invest the final Protect Shield here. Switch timers are misaligned. I'm going to try and bank as much energy as I physically can, and then look to snipe Cresselia. We do manage to get the snipe. The opponent definitely doesn't shield this. They're going to put it all on Steelix. Can we win this game? It's going to be close. If the opponent's got Break and Swipe and Psychic Fang, I think this is a dub, as both Break and Swipe and Psychic Fang, even though the opponent's a Shadow, do hardly any damage. We're going to throw the next Aqua Tail. This Aqua Tail isn't quite going to be lethal. Moment of truth. Please don't have Crunch. Please! Fuck. GG's that opponent. Despite having pretty poor alignment, I think we still made that battle pretty close. In the next battle, we see another Shadow Magnezone in the lead. Not bad for us, but what is bad is the Hakamo safe switch. We're going to do exactly the same as we did in the previous battle. Fire off the lunge, forcing that debuff effect, and then send out Sableye. It looks like this Hakamo has objectively worse IVs than the last one. So what I'm planning to do here is we're going to tank the first Dragon Claw, shield the next one, and commit to the Shadow Claw farm down, and leave with almost double foul play. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. If they send back up Magnezone, they're going to have to sack it or commit both Protect Shields, as we're going to reach 2. So when using a 2-turn move into a 4-turn move, you should always 1 and throw. Even if that Volt Switch would have took me out, I can still throw 1 and the move, because it'll register on turn 2, and the Volt Switch won't register until turn 3. You manage to force both Protect Shields, and then send out the Quagman to wall this energy. Although I say wall, that Wild Charge still does a lot of damage. The opponent then sends out Gligar, and that is going to be game over. Of course I'm going to burn the final protection here. We're going to shield up the Aerial Ace. We're going to throw the first Aqua Tail. It's going to take 2 to knock out, although for good fast move timing, I'm going to throw 1 further mud shot so I can free and throw into the returning Magnezone. This Aqua Tail, of course, will be enough to knock out. We're definitely not in 1 Volt Switch range. We throw 3 mud shots and the Aqua Tail, and the happy looking Quagman is going to sweep the back line. GG's, and thanks for playing. So if you're trying to smash through all 20 sets on Go Battle Weekend, I think this team definitely should be one you should consider, as it makes battles so fast. In the next battle, we see a Shadow Quag in the lead. I'm going to shield the first move, because I know I am going to be able to force a Protect Shield back. People are always petrified on my Spider. We do force that Protect Shield back, and then I'm going to pivot into Shadow Sableye. This time it's the opponent looking for some chip and dip actions, and perhaps haven't got a great answer for our Sableye. The opponent actually sent out for Alligator. This is an IV dependent CMP. But for those of you that have been around the channel a while, you'll know my Sableye has a 0 attack. It's a beautiful 0-15-15. So I opt to throw 1 before the CMP tie. Unfortunately, isn't quite enough to secure the knockout. We do get this for Alligator into perfect farm down range. Galvantula is then going to leave only 1 Volt Switch off the lunge. Back out comes the opponent's Quag. They then play to the CMP tie. They do not win. Shout out Home Size Henry for that quote. We force the opponent's final Protect Shield, and we're going to put it all on the Quagman. If this move doesn't knock out, which it doesn't, we're going to instantly pivot into our own Quag, not allowing the opponent any free farm. Again, the opponent looking for some chip and dip action. The debuffed Aqua Tail doesn't do all that much damage. I'm going to throw 3 mud shots. Look to fire off the Aqua Tail, 1 before the CMP tie. Not wanting to risk losing the charge attack priority. The opponent read me like a book. Send out the Penguin. We haven't got Mud Bomb, but do you really need it? Well, I'm about to tell you, evidently we do not. Stone Edge secures the knockout. Back out comes the opponent's Quag. And Aqua Tail is going to be all she wrote with Quagman. Looking very happy, sweeping another back line. Heading into the next battle, we see a great lead. The opponent throws 1 Snarl and then send out the Penguin. Are you serious? I think this will be the easiest bait of my life. On the off chance the opponent doesn't shield, we full send. You can see these Volt Switches tearing through this Penguin. I'm of course going to shield in return. I don't think 2 Volt Switches are quite going to knock it out. I didn't want to risk it. So I'm just going to fire off the lunge here, which will either knock out or force the opponent's final Protect Shield. We then pivot into Sableye to absorb the energy. Sableye Mandibuzz isn't anywhere near as bad as you might expect, especially when you're rocking that Power Gem coverage. I'm actually going to do a really stupid play here. At the time I thought I'm going to be really clever and look to throw on the CMP tie. And all I actually do is give the opponent a free Snarl. Jamie, you're a potato. However, if the opponent gets greedy or throw an Aerial Ace, we're going to reach 1 further foul play. The opponent does throw the Aerial Ace, which is going to allow us to reach the foul play. This won't quite be lethal, but we'll put them into 1 Volt Switch range. I'm going to send out Galvantula, get him the snipe. Hi Mandy, bye Mandy. The opponent's final Pokemon is Dugong. Trainer, what the hell do you do against Magnezone? Dugong is pretty thick. You can see they tank that discharge like an absolute champ. Although this game's just over. We don't reveal our third, Shadow Claw farm down and take that game. In the next battle, we see a pretty decent lead. I say pretty decent as we got typing advantage. However, we have evidently less bulk, and if you tank a Future Sight, let me tell you, you do not tank it well. The opponent attempts to catch a lunge onto Steelix. I hold my energy and send out the Quagman. We can tank any one move. The opponent probably throws some kind of annoying debuff move. As I said previously, if the last opponent didn't have Crunch, we would have easily survived and won. However, we then farm up, throw the Aqua Tail on the CMP type, maintain alignment. Back out comes Cresselia. We look to do as much damage as physically possible throwing the Stone Edge, and it's actually a charge attack priority, which is best case scenario. This definitely puts them into lunge range. Quagman has done its job. It's put in so much work, so I'm just going to let it go down and give someone else a chance to shine. I'm going to send back out Galvantula. The opponent pivots out into Shadow Magnezone. We've already seen that a lunge does so much resisted damage. The opponent shields the first. Last time we won CMP. This time, unfortunately, we do lose. The opponent is going to need to wild charge to secure the knockout. The opponent throws the mirror shot. We withstand the damage. If the opponent doesn't shield this, we're just going to pivot into Sableye, Shadow Claw farm down, and there literally is nothing the opponent can do. The opponent recognises that and concedes the match. In the next battle, we see Kofa Gregerson lead. The opponent safe switches into a Charmer. It was only a matter of time before we saw some sort of toxic team. I fire off the lunge, force a Protect Shield, and we're going to pivot into the Quagman. One thing this team isn't good into is fast move pressure. I'm actually worried this might be like a Vic or something in the back. If this is a triple fast move pressure team, I think it's just game over, but regardless, we fire off the Aqua Tail, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and this Aqua Tail is going to be lethal. We should manage to get a move off against Kofa Gregerson as well. The opponent exited with no energy, so I'm just going to fire off the Stone Edge, looking to do maximum damage. And then if the opponent looks to Shadow Claw farm down or reach an Aqua Tail, the opponent is going to be forced to throw. Once Quag's gone down, I'm going to send out Sableye. In case the opponent has Shadow Vic, we're going to need as much health as physically possible. Oof, it's double fairy. Shadow Sableye, unlike the regular one, can at least hit for neutral. You can see Stinky Binky is so thick, these power gems don't do all that much damage. I think I need to make a catch to win this battle. I try and make a catch, get farmed down, the opponent's now doubled up. We're going to win CMP, so I take the extra Shadow Claw, hoping that is going to put him into power gem range. But you can already tell from the last one that isn't going to happen, and unfortunately we are going to get beat by double fairy, and I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight. GG's buddy, you got me. Losing to Stinky Binky hurts my soul. It's almost as bad as losing to Bastion. Heading into the final battle of today's video, we see Cresselia in the lead. I'm going to pause a turn, ensuring the opponent doesn't catch my lunge onto something that does resist bug. Lunge goes unshielded, and you can see Cresselia insanely thick. The opponent builds up to potential future sight, so I'm going to respect it. The opponent full sends again. We've got to be mindful the opponent might try to make that catch, and they do, onto Steelix. So we're going to pivot, of course, into the Quagman, and we should be sitting in a pretty good spot. One Aqua Tail won't be lethal, and as long as the opponent doesn't farm up to an Earthquake, which they haven't, we can tank any one move, and it's going to cost the opponent both Protect Shields if they want switch. We tank the Crunch, we're going to throw 4 Mud Shots and the Aqua Tail, but the game lags a turn and the opponent sneaks a Dragon Tail. Niantic, this is Season 18, for the love of God, fix this fucking game. You can see, because we lagged the turn, the opponent Dragon Tail farms us down before the next Aqua Tail, we send out a Sableye, and they get the Crunch debuff. Brilliant. So we should have been in a dominant position, just that one sneak. Things have now got dicey. Out comes Charizard. I don't even pause. I don't care if the opponent catches. We need to get rid of Cresselia regardless. The opponent simul swaps at the same time as me. We're just going to shield this move up. Volt switch farm down, and despite the game not working as intended, Discharge going to be massive overkill, and we managed to take that game. So those were the battles. Within my opinion, the strongest team in the Open Great League, if you want to run full shadows. It was the strongest team in the Jungle Cup, and guess what? Remix Cup, it still kicks ass. So enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel. A link to a battle submission form is down below, and as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.